Welcome to this instructional video on using the acmb application. The name acmb is a reduction from astrocombiner. acmb is an open-source cross-platform software for astronomical photographic image manipulation. To get acquainted with the application, consider as an example a typical astrophotography task. Let's say that we want to combine a set of images of one scene of the starry sky into a single image, optimize it for display on a 4K screen and save it in JPEG format. The main frames on which the stars are captured, in fact, are the so-called light frames. We import them first. To do this, select cell A2 and click on the Import button. The Import Images tool will appear in the cell. In it, you need to click the Select Image button and select your light frames. Since each light frame, in addition to useful information, contains the noise of a sensor, it is recommended to take a dark frame with the same exposure and subtract it from the light frame. Select the right adjacent cell B2 with the arrows on the keyboard or by clicking the mouse and add the Dark Frame tool to it. Note that cells A2 and B2 are connected by 3 arrows. This means that the frames between them are transmitted one by one, in batch mode. This tool also requires a dark frame, which we will subtract from the light ones. Since the cell on the left is already occupied, we will put it in the cell on top. To minimize random fluctuations, it is recommended to summarize several dark frames. Add the Import Images tool to cell B1 and upload a series of dark frames. Double-click on the arrows connecting cells B1 and B2. Now they are connected by 3 converging lines. This means that the images from the top cell will be summed up before they get to the bottom cell. Due to the optical shortcomings of the lens, vignetting or uneven brightness distribution is often found in photographs. To compensate for this effect, you need to photograph a uniformly illuminated field and increase the brightness of the light frame, where the flat frame is darker. In other words, we have to divide the light frame into a flat field. To do this, place the Flat Field tool in cell C2. By analogy with the previous tool, a series of flat frames must be loaded into cell C1 using the Import Images tool and indicate that they need to be summed up by double-clicking on the arrows. After the light frames are calibrated using dark and flat frames, we can put them together into one image. To do this, put the Stacker tool in cell D2. By default, it specifies the Light Frames Addition mode. This means that the program will search for stars on light frames, combine them with each other so that the stars match and only then sum up the pixel values. The second mode, Dark/Flat Frames, means that the frames will be stacked without alignment, but we need the first mode. Let's assume that your camera has a sensor with an aspect ratio of 3:2, and we want to prepare a frame for demonstration on a 4K screen with a resolution of 3840 by 2160 pixels. It is necessary to resize the image to the required width. To do this, place the Resize tool in cell E2 and specify the values 3840 and 2560 respectively in the width and height fields. Such parameters will preserve the aspect ratio of the original frames. In order for the image to fit completely on the screen, you need to crop it. Add the Crop tool to cell F2 and specify the following parameters: left equals 0, top equals 200, width equal 3840, height equal 2160. Since we work with raw frames, our final image has a color depth of 16 bits per pixel. It first needs to be converted to a color depth of 8 bits per pixel, because JPEG does not support a large color depth. Add the Converter tool to cell G2 and select the RGB24 format in it. Now we can save the result of all calculations to disk. Place the Export tool in cell H2. Click the Select File button and specify the JPEG file where you want to save the result of the work. If your computer has an NVIDIA graphics adapter with support for CUDA technology, you can enable its support by checking the appropriate box. This can significantly speed up the calculations. Now that the scheme is ready, you can start the calculations. Click the Run button and wait for the message about the end of the process. Please note that in order to preserve data integrity for the duration of calculations, the entire interface is blocked. In order not to create a diagram from scratch every time, you can save it to disk using the Save button and then upload it using the Open button. In the built-in presets catalog, which opens first when the program starts, there are 4 ready-made schemes for the most common astrophotography processing scenarios. Thank you for paying attention to our instructional video. We hope the acmb application will become a valuable tool in your image processing arsenal.